All right, cool.
Hello again, guys.
So,
So, take a moment to remember my name. It's Katie. I'm back, and we're here again today to talk about
not this one. We're talking about.
You ruined my flow.
All right, you have to say it. We're talking about.
WTF
No.
is passion. Say it.
No, you have to say it.
You
have to
say
say the
it.
words.
I read it.
What the fuck is passion? And then we won't do that part anymore. But basically, I was actually talking to Katie. I messaged you the other day, and I was like, I think we should talk about. Well, I've been thinking about like the question of like what the fuck is passion? Like, you know how like everyone always goes like, yo, follow your passion, follow your dreams.
Yeah.
And they just throw out this word like passion. But like I'm just like, all right, what does passion mean? You know, like what is this like passion that people are trying to find? Like what is it in like plain English? Because I never really got it. I just felt like it was someone talking about something they could just be doing for like a long time, and then they're really interested in it and they just wanted to do it forever. Like they always talk about like some flow state.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that's really cool. I want to get there too. I want to find that. And I've met people who are really like, I guess would be in the have found their passion because they're just so devoted and interested in a particular subject. And what I found out was like a lot of times those people like started they knew that from a really young age.
They literally were born and
I
know
like
what I
they're
do.
like I talked to people and they're like, yeah, I knew when I was 14 I wanted to be a cinematographer. I was like, what the fuck, man? I was like, just discovered masturbation or some shit. I like I wasn't thinking about what I wanted to do. So like for the common folk, in your words, like first of all, like what in plain English do you think is like passion?
I don't know, because I'm kind of in the same boat. I feel like I was always growing up someone who never really had a niche. I love doing so many different things, and I enjoyed them, but I wasn't really the absolute best at any single one, nor could I say I'd only want to do that one thing for the rest of my life. So I'm not really sure. Yeah. And I'd like to think passion can include just it's like it's not just one thing to some people. Maybe it's just something that makes you happy during a certain time. Something that makes you excited. Something that you look forward to doing.
So do you feel like some people are just like not destined to do one thing?
I'd like to think so because I'm one of those people. I think.
Or do you think it's like they're late bloomers and people who find it out later in life?
I think it's good, or at least maybe I'm biased because I'm just saying that because I'm like that. But I think it's good that some of us don't have a super specific passion because it makes us people who, I don't know, I guess like the whole like Jack or Jill of all trades, where like you could be good and interested in a bunch of things, and at the end of the day, everything's connected, you know? So like if you can have a good foundation in everything and like all of them make you happy, then that's awesome. You know? But it's hard because then people are always going to have a specialty. Some people are going to have a specialty and they're going to be amazing at it. And if they have this super, super excitement for it, then they're obviously going to thrive and they're just going to be killing it.
Like I can see like what you're saying, like I can see the pros and cons of both. Like, you know, people who have PhDs, right? Like they know really a lot about one specific thing, a super niche within a niche of a topic, right?
Yeah.
But they don't know, like they devoted like 10 years of their life to like something, but if you ask them about something else, they're just like, what the fuck? Like, like they're probably not very, well, I'm generalizing, but maybe they don't have like a lot of knowledge about other things. And I guess it sounds like you're talking about its personal preference, right?
Yeah, I think so. And I think I'm starting to realize that I guess the passion doesn't necessarily have to be a topic. I guess like to me, I realize I love planning, organizing, and scheduling, whether that's in a certain industry, like whether that's in like business management, real estate, like communications, marketing
Right.
doesn't really matter.
Okay.
But what I'm actually doing is more of my passion
Got it.
than.
So,
So I guess in some ways, maybe, yeah, we just haven't found the exact
yeah.
niche, but like we have certain things that we enjoy doing and we're figuring it out along the way.
I see.
Does that make sense?
I guess so. Yeah. It sounds like it's a process. And
Yeah.
It's so specific to each individual that, I don't know, it's just really frustrating for me because, like, I feel like, I don't know, like the internet or social media advertises so heavily, like finding
Yeah.
your passion, Instagram post,
Yeah.
follow your dreams, don't settle for less,
Yeah.
live your dream. You know, like
They even
all
have
that.
like the passion planner.
Yeah, like what the fuck? Like I'm
Yeah.
just like, yeah, that sounds amazing. But there's so many different factors that I feel like sometimes we don't even consider. Like, yeah, you can be passionate about something, but like what if there isn't someone looking for that type of, like there's no jobs for that, or
It's a perfect opportunity to make one then.
yeah. I think I was watching like I think Chris Rock had like a comedy stand up and he was talking about how like, yeah, you can do anything you want if they're hiring and you're good at it.
Yeah.
Like there's some practicality to following your passion and shit like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like is there anyone, yeah, where is it?
Well, do you find an issue with that now? Do you think there's something that you're really interested in, but it's not practical? Or like what's made you think about that lately?
Not really. I think my fear is more so like just like I don't want to be like a sheep. Like I don't want to just like follow the crowd of like what people are doing.
The trend.
Yeah, like what's trending right now. So, but I like kind of going back to what you're saying is like it's kind of funny how like wherever like whatever mindset or interest you have, there are people who like that kind of stuff, and there is like a world for that.
Yeah.
For example, like you coming to Taiwan and studying Mandarin, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are people who are exactly in the same boat as you.
Yeah.
That you probably didn't imagine were in the same boat as you, but once you met them, you're like, oh shit, like I'm not the only one. It probably made you feel a little more comfortable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm responding to that. Yeah, definitely. I think, but even within that though, it's like, yeah, I have classmates who are interested in learning language, who are really, really interested in the culture and learning more about not just the language, but the people, the food,
Right.
all that. But within that too, we're all very different, you know, like, because I wouldn't say most of us have a passion of learning Chinese.
Sure.
It's more of like we're really interested in it. So again, it's still the whole like, what is a passion?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I can't really say what exactly they're passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't seem like their sole focus is to just learn Chinese, you know?
So basically, like, I actually came up, like, I was actually really interested in this topic, so I came up with, like, a definition of what passion is for me. So, and kind of, like, obviously, like, doing research and, like, listening to videos and stuff like that. Basically, what I, like, kind of ultimately found, or have found so far, was that passion is basically you finding a problem that you really, really care about, an issue or a topic that you really, really care about, and you just devoting yourself to that problem or solving that problem, whatever medium your craft is through. So whether it's through writing, photography, poetry, that's writing, some type of form of expression or some type of outlet, you're using that craft as a way to tied to a larger cause. That's why, like, whenever you go through like hiccups or bumps like that, you're able to pull through because the issue at hand is way bigger than the small little hiccups along the way.
Mm-hmm.
But that for me is like kind of the direction that I'm heading towards, because, you know, like, shit's hard, you know, like you're gonna want to quit along the way. So I guess your passion is just like something where the whatever you're trying to solve is way bigger than the immediate kind of hardship that takes place in the middle of getting better at your whatever expertise.
Yeah, I agree, and like I feel like I align with your definition of passion. I feel like it gives a lot of meaning to people when they have that like overarching theme to why they're doing something. And there's different ways to go about it too.
Yeah.
So it's like if one door closes, that doesn't mean your passion's totally over. There's other ways to achieve it. But it just makes me think though, because I feel like not everyone thinks of it that way. Like, I just think of like athletes,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, who are like NBA players.
Yeah.
I don't think they're really solving a problem.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
just doing what they love,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know? So I feel like to some people, that definition might not necessarily align. Yeah.
I see. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like, do we need to have a problem
I
in
guess
order to
not.
have a passion?
Yeah, I guess not.
But I guess for us, it gives us more meaning maybe
Yeah.
to have that.
I guess so. You're right, because like there's so many
Mhm.
different people. There's so many different reasons for why they do what they do,
Mhm.
and not one reason is probably better than the other. It's just
Mhm.
personal preference.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's really
Cool.
weird. It's hard to think about.
I know. But no, for me, I don't know.
Who knows? Do you know? What's your next thing?
Get to the next thing. Okay, so let me ask you, like, what are you doing?
Nothing.
I'm gonna ask you the next question. Okay. So like a lot of like, I was actually talking to this guy. Right? I met this guy. There's this. So when I was working at,
So there's this
I'm trying to give you some backstory. So when I was working at Starbucks, right, there's this dude who would always come in, and after Starbucks, I would always go to this other coffee shop like
Mhm.
next door, and
Betrayal.
I know, right? All right. So basically, I saw him there, and I was like, "Hey, like, what are you doing here?" I was
Uh-huh.
like, "You're a trader." I was like, "He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you too." I was like, "No, I was like, I like to study here, and the coffee's really better."
Uh-huh.
But he kind of told me that he was a software engineer before, and he had been a software engineer for 10 years. And I was like, "Okay, so what are you doing right now?" He's like, "I'm actually like a pastor," and his company, or a company that him and his wife run, they basically like rent venues, and they just like host like a session, a church
Mhm.
session, and then like, so wherever they have an event, like their followers or their people who are with the church just go to that venue. So it's not like a church; they just like rent out venues.
Mhm.
But he was telling me how that was his passion, and he just like after 10 years he decided like to, even though he was making like way less money than before, like it was something he wanted to do, and he just couldn't spend another day not doing it.
Wow.
But initially, he told me in his like first day of undergrad as a comp sci major, his professor asked the entire class, "Okay, which one of you right now, if I gave you $1 billion, would still be doing this?" And he said like only like 2 people raised their hands. He's like, "Okay, the rest of you are not gonna make it." And I was like, "Oh fuck!" And he's like, "Yeah, but it's true." He's like, "What are you gonna do on a Friday night? Like, what are you gonna spend your time doing on a Friday night? Are you gonna be partying? Because if it is, you're probably not doing something you really care about."
But then what happens to the people that would rather party?
Then I guess to some degree, I'm generalizing right now.
Yeah.
They just, under the assumptions that people who spend more time and energy on a certain craft are better at it. I guess they just wouldn't rise to the top because they're not spending as much time in general
Yeah.
as people who would rather do this like after work, or it's not just like a work thing. It's like something they think about all the time. You know, that to me is like, or like some people say like it's why, like if you're the person who lives for Fridays and weekends, you're probably not doing what you want to do because
Yeah.
your everyday isn't something that you want to do. So yeah, there's a lot of inspirational shit out there, but like
Yeah.
it's just like, it's kind of overwhelming. But
Whenever people bring up the like, oh, if you didn't have to worry about money, if you had all the money in the world, what would you do?
yeah,
That's such a hard question to answer. Oh my gosh, everyone's staring at us. Anyways, and I never know how to answer. Like,
yeah.
I feel like there's.
If you or even thinking right now, what would you like? If you just like, I was like, "Yo, what would you be doing?"
I usually say I'd want to be.
Okay, I don't care what you usually say, but like right now, just like feeling wise, like
I mean, I'd still probably say this, but I have some hesitation.
Yeah.
I'd probably want to be a gym class instructor,
Uh-huh.
so like Zumba or
why?
or like dance
Yeah,
party
yeah.
thing. I just love the
I can
energy.
totally see you.
I know everyone says that
I can
too.
totally see you.
I love the goofiness and like how someone's energy can make other people
Yeah,
like work out
Yeah.
and
You do
feel
have
better
that.
about themselves.
you have a contagious like energy
Thank
about
you.
you. I'm for real.
And so I would want to do that, but then I just don't know if I'd be good at it, and I'd have to train. So that's why I'm like, I'd have to like do a lot of steps to get there.
Yeah.
But it's something that's always been interesting to me,
So-
and I actually do eventually kind of want to try to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'd probably get sick of it after a while too, you know. So I
Oh.
can't say it's
There's only
actually
one
my
way to
passion.
find out, right?
Yeah.
But
What about you? Do you have something in mind?
I don't know. I don't have a specific like craft in mind. Before it was like film and stuff like that. And sometimes I just question whether or not I just like the concept of something. You know how there's like you just imagine all the time like that would make me look so cool if I was that, right?
It's
But like
the perception of it.
yeah, or just the fantasy of it. It's like
exactly.
it's like the reality of it's it's way different, right?
Yeah.
In reality, you're just like, oh my god, like if I was a doctor, you know. But if you like at one point I was like a pre-med major, right?
Mhm.
And the first day of like bio class, like fuck this. I was like, nope,
Not about it.
not about this. Like I wouldn't. It wasn't something I was like conceptually. I was like, shit, like
Mhm.
I look pretty cool like that. But the reality was just like sometimes you don't consider the harsh reality of like I don't consider the harsh reality of like the steps that you have to do in order to achieve whatever you want, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like to me, a lot of my idea of career isn't just about what I like to do, but how it's perceived, kind of.
Yeah, it's sad though,
Yeah,
right?
it's like your status,
Yeah.
like not even just money, like just if people will think you work hard or think that you did well in something, you know?
Yeah.
I always just imagine myself, I want to work in like a high-rise building with
You
like,
told me.
yeah, with
city,
like,
right?
and like be wearing like my click-clack heels
Yeah.
and like look all put together and just like have the successful vibe.
Yeah,
I don't even know what that means though, because I feel like so many jobs can do that.
Yeah.
Slash, a lot of jobs now are going so casual that
right. It's like, do you even want to?
exactly, you can make big bucks and you don't have to dress like
Yeah.
that. But for some reason, that's still so appealing
Yeah.
to me.
I don't know. Do you, like, it's kind of like crazy how you kind of think of why you wanted these things, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of those ideas probably weren't even yours to begin with.
Yeah.
But it was like the movies and like
Mhm.
nowadays social media and like it's funny how right now you're wanting that techie kind of hoodie because you see
Mhm.
other people and they look happy with it, but like kind of goes back to like how we're so particular with what we want and how we actually feel about things that maybe it's not actually what we want.
Yeah. And it kind of ties into the last part of like people pleasing too. It's maybe not
It's, like,
exactly
all fucking, like, related.
what I want, but because I feel like it's more acceptable or
Yeah.
more prestigious
Yeah.
to other people's eyes, that it feels like that's more of what I want to do.
I guess it was if I were to rephrase that question, it'd be like if no one was looking at you and no one cared about you, what would you be doing?
I don't know. I definitely would want to. It just kind of ties to what you said earlier about that bigger purpose. I feel like I have a lot of things I want to help in the world, but I know I don't have the energy to do all of them as one person. So it's
Right.
really just figuring out which one I care about the most.
Yeah.
And where I can really make that mark.
Right.
And so I am still just figuring that out. But
Yeah.
that would be the one thing I
Right.
feel like, but I'm still not quite sure
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah. Right. You know, like we're limited in time and energy
Yeah.
and all that stuff. Do you actually know anyone, or can you describe someone, like even if you probably know, do you know anyone who is kind of like someone you look up to in terms of like what they're doing and how they're doing it, you know? Why and how? Who, why, and how?
Who, why, and how? I mean, the first person that came to mind was my dad.
Yeah.
He is a professor and he teaches business at a community college. And he started out doing like consulting and wanting to start his own business, but because he wanted to have more time to start a family, he went into teaching. So it was kind of like he kind of went into it not necessarily because it was his passion, but he's
Yeah.
like, oh, you know what, this will work more practically.
Yeah.
But he actually realized he loved it. Like every day, he already has the option to retire, but he doesn't want
Yeah.
to. Like he really likes working and going to class and teaching students and getting an email that says, wow, like your class really helped me do this, and giving students direction. And he's always so excited to talk about those moments he has with his students. I know.
Yeah.
So that's really awesome to hear that, like, he wouldn't have, like, when I asked him, like, oh, would you want to have done things differently?
Yeah.
Would you want to work somewhere else? He is so 100% sure, like, this is what makes him happy.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of cool to hear. And also that it works for him. Like, he was okay with sacrificing the prestige and the salary to have a flexible schedule and to still make an impact. So he found something that worked for him.
Right. Oh.
Yeah.
I remember, like, at one point in time you told me your dad would, like, travel to, that's how you met your mom, your mom, right? Like, when he went to Taiwan?
Yeah.
And he was like, to study martial arts.
Yeah, he wanted to be in, like, the CIA, so he was studying martial arts.
Yeah.
It's so random.
That's so random.
Yeah.
But, like, so cool how, like, it was through his exploration that he, I don't know if he found what he wanted to do, but he kind of got a better idea of maybe the lifestyle he wanted to live.
Exactly. It's all about lifestyle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
he knew that he couldn't have a steady family if he wanted to go into more of law enforcement.
Yeah.
And he realized that was more of a priority to him. And that was, I guess, maybe even considered a passion. Just like loving your family, the people you care for, and spending time with them and letting them, I guess, encouraging them to grow and watching them grow and stuff too.
Do you feel like you would ever want, do you feel like right now you're in a way following his path of going abroad and figuring stuff out? Or
yeah, I'm pretty similar to my dad. I think that's a big thing I'd want from my future job too, is flexibility. Because even though I want to be that, like, badass bitch that kills it in like the work field, I definitely don't want to be that parent that has to say I have to miss your game or I have to miss your rehearsal because of work. You know, I want to have that, like, balance.
Yeah, it's like at some point in time, like, your time and you're spending, like, making memories with your family seems to be, like, kind of more important than making an extra, like, $100,000.
Exactly. At the end, it's like, why do you even need that money at the end of it? If you have, like, enough to survive, then it's really just more about the people you're with.
Yeah.
What about you? Do you have anyone in mind of, like, who you admire that really stands out?
I have, like, a bunch of, like, people. I go through phases quickly though. Like, I have people that I admire for now, but, like, 2 months down the road I'd be like, why the fuck did I even like which part did I like about him? Like, was it because when he spoke he had so much conviction that therefore I believed what he was saying, or was it because his title or the way he looked? You know, there's so many factors. Sometimes I just follow people, maybe sometimes for wrong reasons, but right now I'm, like, kind of into this company called, and this, like, the CEO founder of it, called Time Well Spent. And I think the CEO's name is, like, Tristan Harris, but basically he's someone who's he was a Google ethicist at Google, and basically his job was to, you know how, like, right now Facebook and all those tech companies are getting a lot of shit for,
privacy
and using data, like, going against people's, like, using people's data for their own profits. I don't think that's wrong. There's something wrong with it, but I feel like if you're completely just using people's data for their profits without
them knowing.
Or just, like, creating. Sorry, I'm gonna take it back. Creating apps or companies that are highly addictive, and knowing this and using information as power just for your benefit, I think that's in a way unethical. It is unethical because at some point in time, like, if there's, like, this, you know how this whole issue of how Instagram, Facebook, all the big companies, tech companies, they have, like, hundreds of, like, user researchers and psychologists who are analyzing people's thoughts, that they're basically creating news feeds that like, hit the human psychology at the lowest level. So outrage, and you know how you're getting all these, like, watching a bunch of videos about people like massacres and killings and genocides, and
Mm-hmm.
and those like make you really angry. That's why you stay up there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they know this, therefore they're feeding you videos that give the biggest reaction, so you stay there.
Mm-hmm.
And like hearing about this, that's just like super disturbing because it's not the reality. Because the amount of times that those things happen are pretty rare, actually, compared to like the grand scheme of the world, right? But they can make it seem like it's the world happening right now. And in that sense, it's just like that to me was like, oh shit, like I didn't. To me, that was the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was all these campaigns and like all those. When you watch a bunch of videos and it's just like that is the world to you because that's how you see it and that's what they give you in a way you already built. I'm like venting right now.
The media is really powerful.
It's really fucking powerful. Like, it's what you. I feel like a crazy person, just like ranting right now.
Say it.
Because it's like everything. Everything matters.
Yeah.
Like what you read, how you're, everything, who you hang out with, right? The 5 people you hang out with, like everything fucking matters. It influences who you are, decisions you make, the way you present yourself.
Yeah.
So if you're spending this much time, X amount of time on Facebook, and it's feeding all you information about, like, things you should buy, why you should be insecure, indirectly telling you should be insecure about yourself. And this is happening about this. And it's like media, and since we know sometimes media can be distorted and edited, like, you're getting a false sense of reality, right?
Wait, so was this guy, is he monitoring it?
So basically he's like, it's a movement to, like, it's a movement forward to kind of, so when technology, like all this like social media was created, right, there wasn't a lot of, there's not a lot of anticipation of the consequences that would happen, right? All these psychological consequences of loneliness and collecting
comparing
friends. Yeah, exactly. No one anticipated. It's like far more complex than people would have anticipated. So as a result, like depression, anxiety, all these emotional health, like mental health issues that we didn't even know would happen are now have to be dealt with. And it's fucking crazy because no one was there, no one anticipated all these things. So we didn't understand the power. Like when Mark Zuckerberg probably created Facebook, it was just there to like make a buck, like create a social network, but make profits too.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't anticipate how it would affect the
people.
world, like the power, like Apple, all that shit.
Just
like,
how people communicate too.
Yeah, it's fucking insane.
Mm-hmm.
No one's there to like, so time well spent is basically like kind of moving forward to like, it's a call to like designers and technological people to create things that are like, that give people options, like YouTube and Netflix. They're there to give you, they've created a way so addicting where like they give you a next video to play. Like they're there to like make you stay there longer so you watch more ads and maybe spend more money.
Mm-hmm.
So, dude, I really sound like a crazy person right now.
No, you don't.
But you have to like, as people, like we have to take control of ourselves and discipline ourselves and have things to kind of, you have to like stop ourselves from grabbing your phone.
Yeah, not
like,
having that as a go-to.
We're so addicted. I'm so addicted to social media.
Too.
I can't go 5 minutes without checking my phone.
Yeah.
Or 5 minutes without seeing if
or when you don't have your phone, it's like you feel so.
I can't. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, where the fuck's my phone? Like that is like addiction.
Yeah.
Like, but it's so normal because everyone walks around the streets with their phones in their hands looking down.
So it sounds like it's something you're pretty passionate about.
For now. For now, though.
Yeah.
But because I'm just like, but it's like purely selfish because like, holy shit, like what have they become? But I don't think it's anything wrong.
I mean, I don't think it's anything selfish though. I think that's kind of what passion is it hits something personal.
Yeah.
Whether it's something like a lot of people are really passionate about getting homeless people off the streets. They might have been homeless themselves, or it's because they've seen people or they've connected someone who was with homeless, and that's not necessarily selfish that they're passionate about it. It's because they had a personal experience with it. So that's kind of something like what you're doing is you had a personal experience with how just powerful and influencing different
Yeah.
types of social media.
A handful of apps, Snapchat,
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube,
Hmm.
can like play such a big role on today's society.
Definitely.
You know, like you could do so much damage if you, like you could literally influence a generation of people
Yeah.
by feeding them certain information. Like
Yeah.
it's
You can manipulate people.
You can literally like say, make someone like not like someone or
Yeah.
a certain company just because you feed them like, and create like a cognitive like dissonance against that particular person, entity, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, some countries can do that, you know?
Insane.
Mm-hmm. Passion.
It's not passion. Oh fuck! Should I just like not? I don't want to put this out there.
You do you. I don't
Alright,
know.
fuck it. Alright, whatever. No one's gonna see this. I guess that's it, man.
Yeah. I guess we're just all figuring it out.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty like, I'm not bummed that I don't have a passion right now. I'm just more excited that right now I'm just enjoying learning,
Mhm.
talking to people and learning about their passions. And I still feel I'm at an age I'm young enough to like
I think that's really good.
figure it
That you
out
have
still
that-
and not rush into it.
Like, how do you have that kind of patience, or?
I think it's just because I'm really like just enjoying learning. Like
Yeah.
even if it's just like something I'm interested in, I'll realize, oh, I really like that. That's cool. I like learning about new things, and I think eventually, as I keep learning about things, I'll learn more about how they connect and the details specifically. Then I'll figure out the specific passion,
Yeah.
or maybe not. But hopefully, at least I'll still enjoy the journey.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, when you graduated, did you feel any like pressure to like quickly do some shit? Like.
Oh yeah, I was just so stressed to get a job that I like didn't even really I wasn't really specifically thinking about what exactly would make me happy. It was just
Right.
like, oh, that sounds cool. I'll
Yeah.
do it, you know? And so I don't really know exactly, like, when people ask me, like, where do you see yourself in 5 years or 10 years? It's like, I have no idea what industry I'd even be in. I'm
Yeah,
still
yeah.
figuring it out. Mhm.
I like that. I really like that. That's like. I too also had that pressure, but I think it was like a lot more harmful. Like,
It can get toxic, yeah.
it's like. Because you want things so quickly, right?
Yeah,
And
oh
you
my God,
want
our generation for sure.
fucking instant gratification. It's
Yeah.
like. And we know it too. Like, it's
Yeah.
like, we're conscious of it, so. But. It's like. It almost feels like the person who can, not person, or like, yeah, the person who can like kind of block out all this social pressure and all that stuff is the person who's gonna, I'll say be more happy, but like they're gonna figure it out, they're able to figure out their stuff among the smoke of shit.
Yeah. It's like they really just know themselves very well.
Yeah. But it seems like you're like in the right path of patiently, like you're like along for their journey, and
Yeah. I'm cool with it. I think sometimes I get a little freaked out when I see or hear other people like, wow, they're already so up there. Like, what am I doing with my
Yeah.
life? But then I like take it steps back and I'm like, you know what? I'm still really happy with where I'm
Yeah.
at. So it's okay. I'll get there, and I'm confident that I have the skills to make it there. I just
That's
haven't
good.
figured out what
Right,
I want to
right.
make it in yet.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that combination of patience and like confidence in yourself
Mhm.
is like what, because like if you're patient, then you don't need to hurry up, and you're not like
Stressed
stressed out, and the work you're producing is probably gonna be good. And then you're
Mhm.
confident in yourself, then it's gonna like push you through it. And you
Yeah.
have faith in yourself. So I'm excited for you.
Me too. But I feel like you also have a good sense of what you're interested in, what your passions are. But you have a lot that you're passionate about, so you're still just figuring out what exactly you want to really, really focus on.
Yeah.
So changing what's it called? It's like a constantly changing like world. I don't know how else to say it. Just that just tech and what you've talked about in general.
Yeah.
It's constantly moving and it's constantly evolving. That
Yeah.
it is kind of hard to say like this is my passion because it's constantly like, a new thing keeps arising from it.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Not really. Not gonna lie.
All right, well, it's okay. I'm just saying, I think we are both on the right track. We're figuring it out.
And it's like 5 years down the road, we're like both homeless and be like, yeah, we should have had our shit together. Like,
You know what? At least we'll have each other, right?
you know,
To keep each
probably
other
gonna
company.
have to, like, you know, find a sugar mama. And...
All right, well, enjoy learning about something at that time.
Cool. Holy fuck. I feel like this is a weird episode.
It happens.
It happens. I feel like I talked like the most.
No, we think we both talked a good amount. This is a long one. Sorry, guys.
Sorry. It's only people are gonna watch this for 5 minutes.
It's true.
Four.
So even
Three.
if it's weird, no one even cares.
That's cool. I'm really happy we didn't do the first take where we're swearing and shit.
I know. Like, this is not acceptable. Okay, well.
Cool.
And that's a wrap. Yeah!
Bye.
Bye.